Ladies, gentlemen and distinguished guests, welcome to Government House. My name is Gerard Martin. I'm the Secretary of the Council for the Order of Australia and the Secretary to the Australian Bravery Decorations Council. I wish to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people as the traditional custodians of the land we are meeting on today and recognise any other people or families with connection to the lands of the ACT. I acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and the contribution they make to the life of this city and this region. I would like to acknowledge and welcome any other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who may be attending today's event. The Australian Honours System is an important mechanism to recognise and celebrate ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Today is a special day, not only for recipients, but also for their families, friends, and communities. It is a day when we celebrate a diverse range of impressive achievements and service. We here at Government House are privileged to play a small part in the recognition and celebration of that achievement. And I hope we can make today an occasion that you will all recall with pride for years to come. Shortly, I will invite you to stand, if you're able, as the Governor-General enters the room. Please remain standing for the Australian National Anthem. After I read their names and citations, the recipients will enter the room from the doorway on my right, and once reading a biography of their service and they have been invested, they will leave by the centre aisle to take their seats at the back of the room. At this point, you might like to show your appreciation with a short applause. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand now for the arrival of Her Excellency the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia and the singing of the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Government House. I'd like to start, of course, by acknowledging that we meet on the lands of the traditional custodians, the Ngunnawal, and pay my respects to elders past and present, and recognise any families and communities with connections to the lands of the ACT and surrounding regions. I pay my respects to their elders past and present. I also acknowledge that there are First Nations representatives from New Zealand here today, and it's wonderful to see you representing Maori culture in Government House today. I'd also like to acknowledge the RMC band that has played the national anthem for us. You'll hear more of their music in our reception. And I know how important it is to have live music, but the RMC band supports us here, and often they're not acknowledged. So you're hearing some very fine musicians playing for us today. I just wanted to thank them for all of that they do for us here at Government House. So it really is a great privilege and pleasure to be with you here at Government House and to welcome you. This is a place of warmth and welcome that belongs to all Australians. And on these days, Investiture days, Government House echoes with history, excellence, contribution and optimism. A current of stories told over decades, lived by people who shaped our modern nation in the image of their own energy. Today, we will be joining your stories with theirs and anchor them to our hopes and ambitions for the future. Now, I was recently in this room before I was sworn in as your Governor-General with my family and friends to celebrate my own investiture. So I do understand what a number of you are feeling this morning. excitement, but a few nerves, pride in your remarkable achievements, and gratitude to the families and communities who have always been there with you. And I know today will be a renewal of your commitment to a sense of purpose to carry on your work and encourage others to make their contributions. Now, each year we have about 25,000 young people who visit Government House. I'm really delighted that we've got some young people here today, including a Boy Scout. It's wonderful to see young people in Government House understanding our democracy. And the team here at Government House spent a lot of time with those students from primary schools and high schools, talking about the history of Government House, but also the role of the Governor-General and the Australian Honours and Awards system. I always try to run in here and see as many of those groups as possible if I'm in Canberra, and their interest and their questions to me generally are drawn to the medals and honours. And we have the board in here when they arrive for them to look at the medals, many of which will be presented today. And you'll see that board as you walk down the corridor to the ceremony afterwards. And it's worth stopping and pausing and seeing how the honours systems work. But we do explain the significance of the awards to young people, and they are always so impressed with the stories of the honours system, and they ask what it takes to get the big awards, or what does that award mean and who gets it? And we spend that time retelling some of your stories so they know that there are awards right across the Australian community and society that we love to honour here on behalf of all Australians. So I want you all to know, those that are being invested today with your awards particularly, that as your Governor-General, I have the immense privilege of investing you with your honours, but I am humbled and so proud of every one of you. Before I took office, I spent time travelling the country, visiting all living former Governors-General. Every one of them told me that Investiture days were some of the most memorable in their terms. In fact, my predecessor, former Governor-General David Hurley, liked to say this: investitures are one of the greatest joys of this role. You cannot help but be uplifted. And having read the accomplishments of those we invest today, and having presided over ceremonies already this week, I can tell you that I am uplifted. Everybody watching on the live stream is uplifted, and we are filled with admiration for you all. Today has been a long time in the planning. For those who are here to receive an honour, it has been a lifetime in the making. And for our nation, it is a day foreshadowed by 65,000 years of Indigenous culture, shared so generously by the oldest continuing culture in the world. Matched with our British institutions of law and democracy and the vibrant, successful, multicultural society we celebrate as modern Australia. Today really is a day to remember. It is said that an honours and awards system is only as good as the people it recognises. And I can say with great confidence that our Australian system is the very best in the world because of the people we are inducting today. Your dedication to serving your communities and our nation is essential to the optimism, confidence, and pride of all Australians as we continue to build the future of this remarkable nation together. From the most extraordinary array of disciplines, contributions, and excellence, you all exemplify the very best of Australian values. At this time of the year, investiture ceremonies just like this one are taking place right across the country. In every capital city, in every government house, remarkable Australians, like those today that are here, are gathering to be recognised for outstanding service or exceptional achievement. And now, while every recipient's accomplishment is as unique as each of your own characters and stories, you are united by the qualities of kindness, care, respect, and generosity that sit at the heart of everything you do. You care for people and communities. You care for excellence, discovery, creativity, and ingenuity. You care for our institutions and our stunningly beautiful continent and our natural environment. And you care for the diversity that we celebrate in all its forms and the possibilities that rest with a deep commitment to inclusion and belonging. I know that the joy and optimism that I feel in your company today is shared right across the country, and particularly in communities, organisations and families you represent. I hope all of you, those that are being welcomed into the honours system today, and all of your family and friends and colleagues and those watching from afar, are uplifted and inspired and so very, very proud. Congratulations to you all. I look forward to presenting you with your honours and then spending time with each of you and your family and friends as we meet for the reception. Thank you, everybody.
Your Excellency, to be appointed a member of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Dr. John Aspley Davis, for significant service to veterinary science and to professional associations. Dr. Aspley Davis has made a sustained and enthusiastic contribution to the veterinary profession, animal welfare, education and governance. Dr. Aspley Davis was President of Veterinarians in Education, Research and Academics, as well as the ACT branch of the Australian Veterinary Association, where he also spent 15 years contributing to the Policy Advisory Council. Locally, he founded the Kippax Veterinary Hospital in 1977, was the founding chairman of the Animal Emergency Centre in Canberra in 2003. He was also the ACT delegate to the Australasian Veterinary Boards Council for nearly 2 decades. Dr. Aspley Davis has positively impacted the lives of his clients, their animals, and members of his profession. Dr. John Aspley Davis, appointed a member of the Order. To be appointed a member of the Order of Australia in the General Division, the late Emeritus Professor Olivio Bonolo, to be accepted by his son, Dr. Marco Bonolo, for significant service to tertiary education, particularly in industrial design research and development. Professor Bonolo was a national leader in industrial design education for 40 years. He was Emeritus Professor of Industrial Design within the Faculty of Arts and Design at the University of Canberra for over 20 years, and was also a visiting professor at international universities in Thailand and Singapore. He was co-director of the National Institute of Design and vice president of the Industrial Design Council, as well as member of the Federal Design Council and ambassador to Good Design. His lifelong work and contributions had a significant impact on Australian and international industrial design education. Emeritus Professor Olivio Bonolo, appointed a member of the Order and accepted by Dr. Marco Bonolo. To be appointed a member of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Dr. Pauline Kerr, for significant service to tertiary education and to international diplomatic relations. Dr. Kerr's contributions to Australian foreign policy and diplomatic studies have been pioneering and impactful. As Emeritus Fellow at the Australian National University, she is considered Australia's premier expert on diplomatic studies by the international community of diplomatic scholars. As a former co-editor and editorial board member of leading publications on diplomacy, Dr. Kerr has made a significant contribution as an author and editor. Dr. Kerr's work in higher education, research, and the training of generations of students in the craft of foreign policy have had a transformative impact which we felt for years to come. Dr. Pauline Kerr, appointed a member of the Order. To be awarded an honorary member of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr. Paul Scott, for significant service to emergency response organisations through mental health support. Mr. Scott demonstrated commitment and passion, ensuring all members of the New South Wales Rural Fire Service, their families, and other emergency services were afforded the best possible mental health support. Mr. Scott was manager of mental health counselling and support services within the service for over 2 decades and developed a number of support programs for its employees and members. He also contributed as a crisis interventions specialist consultant in World Vision International's Global Staff Care Unit and former member of the National Critical Incident Peer Support Management Team within the Salvation Army. Mr. Scott has always been a highly capable professional who demonstrated an unwavering commitment to supporting staff and volunteers. Mr. Paul Scott, appointed an honorary member of the Order. To be awarded a Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr. Isaac Cotter, for service to the Maori community of Australia and New Zealand. Mr. Cotter has been pivotal in growing the relationship between Australia and New Zealand through the promotion of Maori heritage. He has contributed countless hours to educate many Australians about Maori culture, and his work has educated young Maori Australians to engage with and learn about their traditions and heritage. He has also supported the settlement of migrants and refugees in Canberra and the surrounding region through his work with Migrant and Refugee Settlement Australia. Mr. Cotter's efforts and achievements are most noteworthy, and we acknowledge his service. Mr. Isaac Cotter, awarded the Medal of the Order.
Tēnā koe mahi nei ngā mahi o ngā mātua tīpuna e. Nau mai rā, piki mai rā, nau mai rā e.
Hoi toto, hoi toto. Watu hekana, warunga hekana, kotena, hopotu. Hukaina taku kawana, haka watu kawana. Kawiwini kawana tā, patatu ki kaoni, raukraki. Wana, wana, haramai te toki, harmia, huiei, tai ki e.
Oti koe i te kai o ngā waka tīpuna, oti ataki tipu pewa i te kau. Ka tū koe ki ngā i o manga, tō mātā manga tītira. Re rana ngā wai, o ngā wā wai au, re tere ana ki te moana ni ia kiwa. Rangi ia kua te marae, o tamatarangi te tīpuna, e kia ana te kōrero, hea o tarangi kauhia, a mā te tamanu kārere ai, ati hei, mau kia.
To be awarded a Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mrs. Esther Davies, for service to community history and to education. Mrs. Davies' devotion to the promotion of teaching of history throughout most of her adult life is admirable and has had a significant impact. She is currently Vice President of the Canberra and District Historical Society, where she's held a number of roles since 1977. Mrs. Davies was also a former executive teacher of the English and History faculties at Talopia Park School, where she remains an archivist to this day. Her knowledge and expertise has been regularly called upon by current and past school community members, and she remains a stalwart supporter of the history teaching fraternity. Mrs. Esther Davies awarded the Medal of the Order. To be awarded a Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Dr. Billock Lamb, for service to dentistry and to humanitarian dental care. Dr. Lamb has made a significant impact on the oral hygiene of people worldwide and in the Canberra community. She's the owner of Braddon Dental Surgery in Canberra and also a pro bono dentist for the Salvation Army, Karinya House for Mothers and Babies, the Kusudebu Public Health Mission in Nepal. Dr. Lamb is also a member of several committees within the Children's Health Aid Team, which provides medical and dental services to disadvantaged children and their carers throughout Vietnam. Dr. Lamb has donated significant amounts of time, passion, and resources for charitable purposes locally and internationally, ensuring those people have access to oral health care. Dr. Billock Lamb awarded the Medal of the Order. To be appointed the Medal of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Commander Paul Peltzar, for performance of duty as an intelligence officer in the Australian Defence Force. Commander Peltzar made a lasting contribution to Defence Force operations effectiveness through extraordinary commitment during periods of heightened strategic and operational challenges. He distinguished himself by contributing to defence cooperation, enhancing information flows and coordination, generating trust and ensuring benefits for intelligence cooperation and coordination across multiple coalition partners and operations. His professionalism and dedication over years of service have strengthened critical operational level intelligence relationships with key allies and partners. Commander Peltzar's accomplishments and genuine personal investment in intelligence diplomacy directly benefited Australia's national security objectives. Commander Paul Peltzar awarded the Medal of the Order. be appointed the Medal of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Warrant Officer Class 1 Warwick Butterworth, for meritorious service as a Regimental Sergeant Major and Senior Enlisted Leader in the Australian Army. Warrant Officer Butterworth has significantly contributed to operational effectiveness throughout his dedicated service, leadership and efforts to modernise Army's aviation capability training systems. He prioritises mentoring junior and senior soldiers, and his ability to combine his experience in mentorship and organisational stewardship promotes a compelling sense of unity. His contribution during the establishment of Headquarters Army Aviation Command throughout 2022-23 shaped a culture of excellence with a clear focus on people, preparedness and professional conduct. This significantly contributed to the Army's professional standing in the community. Warrant Officer Butterworth's service will have a lasting impact on leaders at all levels for years to come. Warrant Officer Class 1 Warwick Butterworth awarded the Medal of the Order. To be appointed the Medal of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Major Kevin Heine, for meritorious service in the fields of safety, logistics and modernisation within the Australian Army Cadets. Major Heine has provided meritorious service to the Royal Australian Navy and the Australian Army over a career spanning 47 years. His superior leadership, initiative and drive have improved the safety, governance and modernisation of the Army Cadet program. His efforts have supported the Army's nation-building objectives and facilitated defence personnel initiatives. Major Heine's service have resulted in enduring benefits to Australian Army cadets. His passion and dedication to service beyond his responsibilities over multiple postings have resulted in a safer, more capable program, while also providing reputation, recruitment and compliance benefits for defence. Major Kevin Heine awarded the Medal of the Order. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Captain Glenn Miles, for outstanding achievement as the Director, Nuclear Powered Submarine Capability Operational Evaluation. Captain Miles' achievements as Director have been outstanding. Leading a team over 18 months, Captain Miles engaged continuously with our AUKUS partners to develop the pathway for Australia's acquisition of conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarine capability. The work will result in the most significant capability lead in Defence's history and present significant long-term strategic benefits for Australia, the UK and the US. Captain Miles' work has significantly contributed to the Royal Australian Navy's future capability, as well as Australia's broader national security endeavours. Captain Glenn Miles awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Captain Roger Vonhoff, for devotion to duty to the Royal Australian Navy in the field of workforce development and personnel management. Captain Vonhoff's contribution to the Royal Australian Navy has occurred in uncertain geostrategic environments, compounded by unprecedented natural disasters, generational recruiting and retention challenges. Throughout this period, he expertly applied his experience to shape the required changes to Navy policy and has driven retention initiatives to maintain current capability and set the foundation to support future requirements. Captain von Hoff's communication, team building, and inclusive leadership style were instrumental in maintaining his staff's morale, which has led to a high level of commitment and positive outcomes in retaining Navy personnel. Captain Roger von Hoff, awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Major Gregory Sargent, for meritorious achievement as the initial commander of Rotation 1 of Operation Kudu during 2023. Major Sargent made an excellent and enduring contribution to establishing Operation Kudu as commander of the first rotation, enhancing Ukraine's armed forces capacity to defend its sovereignty and territorial integrity following Russia's invasion. Major Sargent led a contingent of 70 Australian Defence Force personnel to deliver basic infantry training to more than 400 recruits. His leadership ensured Ukrainian recruits had essential skills, knowledge, attributes, and combat behaviours to perform and survive on the battlefield. Major Sargent displayed dedicated leadership, exceptional judgment, and resolute commitment in a dynamic and uncharted operational environment. Major Gregory Sargent, awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. To be awarded the Public Service Medal, Ms. Vidoshi Jana, for outstanding public service and dedication to public administration in leading the concept, design, approval, and establishment of the National Emergency Management Agency. In 2022, Ms. Jana led the transition of Emergency Management Australia and the National Recovery and Resilience Agency into the new National Emergency Management Agency. It was completed in just under 6 months after its announcement by the Australian Government. Enhancing the corporate and governance framework, strengthening technology modernisation, along with workforce and workplace capability, the successful transition was due in no small part to Ms. Jana's dedication and determination. Committed to providing solutions, driving outcomes, and being a role model for junior staff in true ethical leadership style and adherence to APS values, Ms. Jana has made a significant contribution to public administration. Ms. Vidoshi Jana, awarded the Public Service Medal. To be awarded the Public Service Medal, Dr. Stephanie Davis, for outstanding public service through sustained leadership in supporting Australia's primary healthcare system throughout and beyond the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Davis was seconded from the Australian National University in March 2020 to support policymaking around GP respiratory clinics and the initial primary care response to the COVID-19 pandemic. It was here that she finalised preparation of a vital online training module that helped protect over 2.3 million care workers and their patients from infection. Dr. Davis made a significant contribution to the planning and rollout of Medicare urgent care clinics. She was integral in developing new incentive models to reward GPs delivering care in residential aged care and to complex disadvantaged patients. Having worked on multiple international health deployments and providing clinical services in remote Aboriginal communities, Dr. Davis is known for her profound commitment to the health and wellbeing of all Australians. Dr. Stephanie Davis awarded the Public Service Medal. To be awarded the Public Service Medal, Ms. Fiona McDonald, for outstanding public service in customer service, policy and program design and service delivery. Ms. McDonald is widely respected for her tireless efforts in delivering a key element of Workforce Australia, the largest reform in employment services to support Australians into the workforce. She was instrumental in establishing the Contact Centre, which delivers vital support and service to hundreds of thousands of Australians. The online platform brings together several critical call centre lines from across the departments of Employment and Workplace Relations, Social Services, and the National Indigenous Australians Agency. Managing a complex national call centre function, providing thoughtful direction, and marshalling her geographically dispersed team, Ms. McDonald demonstrated exceptional leadership by building trust, capability, and capacity across all levels of the Australian public service. Ms. Fiona McDonald awarded the Public Service Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the presentations for this morning. I now invite the recipients to join Her Excellency for a formal photograph at the state entrance. And shortly afterwards, I'm going to invite everyone else to move out towards the dining room and the lakeside lawn for refreshments. You should note that a photographer will be capturing a photograph with the recipients, their guests, and the Governor-General during the reception today. And for those who need to leave early, please let a member of our staff know. For any recipients who don't get a group photo taken in the last 20 minutes or so, the Governor-General will move into an area where we can ensure that you get a photo before you leave. And finally, please don't forget to collect your insignia and warrants before you depart today. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the departure of Her Excellency and the recipients.